Hello, I am Brock Stanton. I am an aspiring meteorologist, and today we're going to be taking a look at my personal forecast for Carlisle, PA, and this is for Thursday into Thursday night for December 15th. We are looking at some winter weather up and coming. Just wanted to start out by saying our National Weather Service has like an enhanced winter storm threat out for south central Pennsylvania. And what that generally means, and this is quoting them directly, is the primary threat is disruption to travel. So that's just what I kind of want to get out of the way before I get into my personal forecast, just a little bit of from what our National Weather Service is saying. So, what I'm expecting is we'll have wintry precipitation arrive between 5 and 7 a.m. and it will start off as either freezing rain or sleet, but regardless, it's going to quickly change over to sleet. And then that's going to continue on as sleet until, I think, sometime in the early afternoon, maybe like between 12 and 2 p.m. And then we're going to change over to snow. And when we're changing over, we could see a little bit of rain, could see a little more freezing rain, but generally during that time period, we're going to change over to snow. And then we're going to see 1 to 3 inches of snow in a couple hour time period. Fairly heavy snow, heavy wet snow. And then in the late afternoon or early evening hours, we're then going to change back over to rain, at which point the event will be over winter weather-wise. That rain will continue some into the Friday night time frame, and that will allow us to really melt away at least some of our winter weather. I know I mentioned the 1 to 3 inches of snow. The other some accumulations that I forecast that I wanted to mention is so our freezing rain accretion, or like basically how much the ice is going to accumulate, is a more simple way to describe it. It's going to be a glaze less than 1/10 of an inch, so not really much there, but really any freezing rain can cause cause trouble, and especially when you combine that with all the other wintry weather we're having, just not ideal. And then sleet, we're expecting accumulations of around 1/2 inch of sleet, and sleet is basically when it starts off as snow super high up in the sky, and then it melts, so then it's rain, but then there's another cold layer at the ground, and then it has just enough time to refreeze back into ice, so then sleet. Freezing rain is that similar setup of where it starts as snow, melts back to rain, but then it doesn't have time to refreeze, but there's still that cold layer at the surface, so then it will stick to anything that's freezing or below and just instantly freeze on it. That's why just any amount of freezing rain can cause issues. Thankfully, we're not looking at too much of it, though. The final thing I wanted to mention before we'll take a look at a couple soundings, which I'll show you what those are in a moment, but basically they just help show the temperature profiling is what I would use them for here, but we could see throughout the time frame winds gusting 20 to 30 miles per hour. So I'm going to try and do here with these soundings, I drew some lines on to try and explain the setup for the temperature and kind of explain, because there's still a fair amount of uncertainty with this event. Explain why there is this uncertainty. So this is a sounding from 5 a.m. in the morning from one of our models. All these soundings are just from one model and they vary, but just to give you a general grasp. So this right blue line here that goes up diagonally, really what you have to know is if the red line crosses over that means it's warmer than freezing. If it's to the left of it, that means it's less than freezing. So we can see here we're below freezing, all the way down, and then we go over it, so then it melts into rain, and then it goes back over, has time to refreeze, and that's why we fall as sleet. Yeah, so that explained. So that's sleet. That's at 5 a.m. At 12 p.m. we can see, it looks like it still goes over a little bit, so then it's still sleet, but it's becoming a lot closer to not going over. So we can kind of see how we're starting, and once it doesn't go over the blue line at all, then we would be snow. So that you can see how we're trending towards more snow there. And this is by 1 p.m. on this particular model sounding, we can see we don't go over the blue line at all, so of course it says snow. But then by 5 p.m., same model, you can see here at the bottom it goes over the blue line. So boom, now we're looking at rain wintry event over, and now it'll just rain some, and we'll get maybe around half an inch of rain. This is all the information I currently have on our upcoming winter weather. I do hope you enjoyed it and found it helpful, and I will see you next time, which should hopefully be tomorrow. Goodbye.